I'm using full size sheet pan liners. I'm going to fold it in half. I've got 2 of them here because I have 4 loaves of bread I'm going to bake. I take the top of my Ateco cake stand decorator turntable and trace a line on the top of the fold, and we'll cut through and have 4 perfect diameter pieces of sheet pan liner. These fit perfectly inside my 5-quart Lodge Dutch ovens, and I'm going to show you how we work with the sides so you can lower the boules straight into the Dutch oven without burning your hands. And also the paper is not going to crinkle and deform your loaf as it bakes and springs up. So there's 4 sheets of pan liner. And we're just going to make little slits around the perimeter. So this helps it fold up along the corner of the Dutch oven. Just go all the way around, make these little slits in, I don't know, is that an inch or 2 inches? Don't make them too close together or too far apart. You just got to kind of find that happy medium. If they're too close together, they might tear when you lift the loaf of bread. So there it is, and you can see how it's very flexible. That's just some press and seal cling wrap. It's just much easier to use than having to use a rubber band to hold it on. Put some rice flour on the bottom, just because it's going to be a little damp or a little moist. Put the paper over, then I invert the turntable. Now these are right out of the refrigerator, so they hold their shape really well. I dust it off with more rice flour. Turntable makes it really easy just to spin that thing around and get it done. There's going to be a lot of rice flour on the paper, but don't worry. Then just score it. I tend to get really good oven spring from the scoring technique that I use. You can use whichever one you want. This has been very good for me. Come back in and I score around the top there to really give the loaf a chance to pull apart and spring up. Again, I'm getting really good results from this, so you can try what you want. Now you can see how I grab the paper and I'm able to pull it in enough so I can set it down. I don't have to plop that loaf into the pan. You're able to actually set it down. You just got to be careful not to touch the sides of that Dutch oven because it's rocket hot. Just go through the same on the next boule. There'll be some clumpy rice flour from the linen on there, and you have to kind of smooth it out because it can be thick in some areas. Here we're just cutting again. That's just a double-edged safety razor on a bamboo skewer. Nothing special. Don't go out and spend a bunch of money on a special scoring tool. You can do this quite inexpensively. Again, you can see I'm just grabbing it by the paper and I'm setting those right in. They're not being dropped, they're being set in. And you can see how that scoring technique has really helped with the spring and get that loaf to pop up. Mine are in for 25 minutes at about 450, between 450 and 425 Fahrenheit. And then the back there, the heat coming out of the oven, I use it to help dry off the linens on my proving baskets. And then I just take them outside and beat them over my hand and knock the rice flour off, and they're good to go for the next shaping round. If you can see the pattern on there, there's a circular seam at the bottom. And this basket is really steep. Compared to this basket, you've got a crisscross seam pattern in the linen and a very shallow basket, not a steep one like the other one. I prefer the steeper basket. That's about 20 minutes after around close to 450. Nice caramelized outside crust. These both came out beautiful. I just grab a couple of big old metal spoons and kind of play the claw game like at the arcade and grab it and put it out on that's a half sheet pan with a metal rack that's made for half sheet pan. You can see the parchment paper there. These 5-quart Dutch ovens are rocket hot, so be careful. With the larger Dutch oven, it gives me the ability to bake loaves that are close to 1 kilo. These are running about 950 to 975 grams each. Also, you can see with the parchment paper, with that cutting around the diameter, you can see how it conforms to the pan and it doesn't deform the loaf in the cooking. So after additional 20 minutes cooking, they're coming out. The second one didn't look quite done enough for me, so we'll put this one back for a little bit. You can see how well that sheet pan liner conforms the can by cutting on the diameter and popping those slits around the diameter. And then you can always check the internal temp should be over 208 degrees just to make sure. And here they are, finished product. Beautiful bread. Everybody loves this. Everybody wants a slice of it or wants a whole loaf when I post these on Instagram.